There's nothing better than talking about the future of the Houston Astros, and sometimes it starts in rookie ball, or I guess high A ball, and then moves up to Triple-A. So we're going to be interviewing prospect Hudson Leach on this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us the first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, go ahead and check us out. Today we're interviewing Hudson Leach. He is currently pitching with the Space Cowboys right now in Sugarland. So Hudson, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them where they can find you on social media.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, Eric. Hudson Leach, went to Creighton University, Miami, Ohio, signed with the Astros in 23, and Hudson Leach on Instagram, Twitter, all that. So.
Thank you once again for doing this. I appreciate you taking time out off your off day. I know the Space Cowboys are off. Are they going to the playoffs as of right now?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but we're going to play like we are. We're going to keep trying to win.
All right. So I know that's always a good way of thinking things, but I know that this year has been a journey for you. I know that you started in high A ball, then you got injured and got sent down to rookie ball when you came back, right?
Yeah, so got hurt while I was in high and rehab down in Florida at the complex, and then threw a few games in rookie ball to make sure everything was good. Went back to high and then kept going from there.
All right, so you went to Double-A, you spent some time there, now you're in Triple-A. So basically, what's been the biggest difference as you've risen through all four levels, so to speak, this year?
Yeah, I think the hitters are a lot more disciplined up here. The biggest jump was probably Double-A to Triple-A just because we have the automated strike zone challenges, the big league baseball. So there's a few different things being thrown at you when you get up here. But I think the guys here have helped me a lot trying to just understand the differences and all that and make adjustments along the way.
I know that the Astros have a lot of pitchers coming down, and I guess hitters as well, rehabbing with the Space Cowboys, I guess with the Hooks as well. Have you been able to work with any of the pitchers that gone down there and learn anything from them?
Yeah, it's been nice. We had a few guys down here, a lot of hitters right now. But got to maybe not rehab guys necessarily, but a lot of guys with big league experience in the bullpen that I've been around. It's been great to learn from them, see how they handle things day to day. And, they're all super professional. So that's something I always am trying to get better at and trying to improve on. So it's nice to be around them.
All right. So do you see yourself in the future as more of a starter, reliever, or what's your game kind of based off of?
Yeah, definitely a reliever. Been a reliever for a few years now. And, I think that's kind of the role they want me in, and it's a role I enjoy being in.
All right. So growing up, was there one pitcher that you kind of idolized and wanted to kind of model your game after?
Yeah, definitely big fans of Verlander and Garrett Cole. When they're on the same team here in Houston, it was pretty fun to watch. But just the classic over-the-top power starting pitchers are kind of my favorite guys to watch. So I really enjoyed watching them too.
So you're 23. So does that mean you're a Royals fan or Astros fan throughout their winning time?
It's a good question. Growing up, definitely a Royals fan, but now that I'm with the Astros, definitely an Astros fan.
Okay, you just really like those two guys, just the way they pitch. So,
yeah,
okay,
definitely.
All right, who was your favorite player growing up as a Royal?
Ooh, probably Salvador Perez. I got to watch his first game. I think he picked off two guys, first and third, in that game and hit a home run or a double or something. He's always fun to watch. Seemed to bring good energy, and I was a catcher growing up too, so I really liked watching him play.
It's crazy he's still playing, right? And still at a high level.
Yeah, kind of unbelievable. Yeah.
So this year, you've definitely the strikeouts has been a big part of your game. In 37 2/3 innings, you have struck out 61 batters. Is that something you strive for, or is that just a product of how you pitch?
I think it's a product of getting ahead early and being aggressive in the zone. For me, that was kind of the biggest thing to focus on this last offseason was limiting the walks and trying to get ahead of batters. And, when you get to 0-2, you get to 1-2, you make it easy on yourself to get a strikeout here and there. So I think that was kind of the biggest thing for me.
So, have you had any welcome to pro ball moments so far in your short pro time experience?
Yeah, I feel like I've had quite a few, for me at least, that just kind of, I had to step back and realize like this is professional baseball. So I'd say my first outing in Fayetteville last year, I gave up a home run on like a pretty good pitch by my standards at the time, and I was kind of in shock. And it kind of focused me, and like I kind of realized like these guys are good even at that level. And then going through the system, I mean, getting to see in spring training, especially we're around the big league team, like seeing them, the weight room and all that, go watch some of the games. That's always fun to see. And then, you know, getting to a double A bullpen to a triple A bullpen where, there's a lot of guys that are really, really, really good that throw hard. They all have good stuff. It's fun to see, and it's easy to root for the guys in your bullpen, and that kind of stuff's been really fun for me.
So after last season, your first season in the Astros system, after being signed, did the Astros staff give you an idea of what they wanted you to work on over the offseason to kind of get you ready for this season?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we kind of hit on it with, attacking the zone more and being more aggressive with my pitches in the zone. So that was probably the biggest thing. But along with that, it was kind of like, can we improve the stuff that I have, the velocity that I had at the time? Can we improve that? And that was kind of another thing that factored into the success this year was gaining velocity over the winter, getting stronger and gaining some weight, getting bigger, and that seemed to help a lot. So I think that was kind of like the big piece last offseason. And then along with that, we were kind of working with a changeup last year. We kind of wanted to work on it in the offseason. So I spent a lot of time on that pitch, and another welcome to pro ball moment actually showed up to spring training this year, and Jacob Melton hit that pitch about 400 feet off me in a live at bat session. So that was kind of like, okay, like metrically this pitch looks so good. I was so excited about it. I'm like, well, guys can still hit it.
So how's the changeup going for you? Is it still work in progress?
Well, really, we kind of they wanted me to throw that because I wasn't throwing very hard last year, and I came back throwing harder this year. So they kind of said Melton hit the home run. I was throwing harder. My other pitches looked really good compared to that one, so we kind of just got rid of it. So yeah.
Okay, so it's adjusting on the fly, so changing to the game. So maybe down the road you can adjust to the league or whatever they say. Because typically when you get to big leagues, maybe you come in and you have success, and then the hitters start figuring it out. That's when you bring in the changeup, something like that, to kind of shake things up. But when we come back, guys, we're going to go ahead and talk to Hudson Leach about what got him interested into baseball and who helped him get to where he is. So, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Hey, guys, whether you're going to the Space Cowboys game or you're going to the golf course, wherever you're going and you just need a little bit of energy, let's talk about 5-Hour Energy. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5-Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of premium 12-ounce cup of coffee plus vitamin B and nutrients with zero sugar and zero crashes. What I love most about them is how portable they are. They're big time taste, tiny shot. You can take them anywhere and get that boost when you need it, whether it's at batting practice in Sugarland or at Top Golf or wherever you need energy. Enough with boring. flavorless caffeine. It's time to get your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-hour energy shots. Get the favorites you love, or be bold and try something new online, inline, or online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. So we're talking to Hudson Leach. He is a reliever with the Sugarland Space Cowboys. He was undrafted out of college. Which college did you go to again?
I went to Creighton University for 2 years and then was signed out of Miami, Ohio.
Okay, so this is his second season with the Houston Astros, and you would think that he's gone through 4 levels of development, but he actually had a rehab stint in rookie ball, then went back to high A ball, then went to double A. Now he's with the Space Cowboys. So a lot of times there's always somebody that's behind the scenes getting a baseball player to where you are, Hudson. I'm going to give you a chance to give a shout out. You can give a shout out to whoever you want, whether it's your parents, past coaches, whoever you want to, for helping you get to where you are right now.
Yeah. Baseball journey for me kind of started when I was really young. It was kind of in our family. We were big baseball fans across the board. So I think my parents probably got me a bat and a tee when I was probably 3 or 4, and I was probably hitting wiffle balls in the front yard. But from there, it kind of went to my dad would be at work in the summer. My mom and I would go to the field by our house, and we'd play imaginary baseball. She'd pretend to pitch. I'd pretend to hit. I'd run the bases. I'd field, like all that kind of stuff. And just for sure, my parents are the shout out here, like, you know, paying for lessons and club baseball and all that, and just being there all along the way for me. Like they've been able to come this year to a lot of games. It's been super nice to, you know, you finish it out and you look up in the stands, your parents are there. So it's pretty cool.
So speaking of hitting, I know that you transitioned to pitching. When did that happen? When did you go from playing catching to being a pitcher?
Yeah, it happened late in high school. You know, I was getting recruited as kind of a two-way out of high school to some smaller colleges, but I had a elbow surgery in junior year of high school that kind of like I came back throwing a little bit harder. I hadn't hit in about a year, and then I went and tried to hit, and it was kind of difficult, and pitching seemed a lot easier. So I went that route, and you know, I think I might have been able to catch at smaller schools maybe, or at least showed up and been like, hey, I'm a catcher, and then they're like, we'll see, we'll probably have you pitch. But around late in high school is about where it happened.
So you had the rookie moment where you hurt yourself, and then you end up throwing harder. So
yeah,
I forgot what the kid's name was from that movie, but that's an awesome story. So a lot of like teams, like when they draft you, they say, yeah, we'd rather you do this, but at least you kind of discovered that a little bit earlier in your life, so you had time to develop into pitching. And now the Astros are able to reap the benefits of that. So, but basically, what I know we kind of talked about already, the changes between the levels. And I know you kind of hit on it a little bit, but can you go deeper into the difference between college ball and the pros?
Yeah, definitely. I think, at least in my experience for college, my first 2 years were kind of me figuring out who I was on the mound. Like I didn't really know. I was pretty raw. I didn't really have a breaking ball. I kind of just threw fairly hard at the time, and it was a lot of development, a lot of failure. But for me, like when I was at Creighton University for my first 2 years to going to Miami, Ohio, it was like I left. I kind of needed a change of scenery. Love the guys, love the coaches there, but you know, sometimes you need that environment change, and it allowed me to kind of just be myself, you know, trust myself, and you know, I ended up pitching fairly well at Miami, Ohio, getting signed. Competition-wise, the pro ball is definitely more difficult. It's nice that they don't swing metal bats here, because that, you know, the margin for error was a lot smaller in college, I think, with just having guys with metal bats being able to hit the ball a lot harder. little bit more potential for damage. But yeah, the hitters are a lot more disciplined, in pro ball. They're not scared of anybody that throws hard. They've seen velocity. They practice against velocity all the time. So college, you kind of got away with a lot, in pro ball. Kind of humbles you, and you got to kind of relearn how to pitch and relearn how to get guys out.
Well, to kind of go off of that, getting guys out, I'm gonna give you a hypothetical scenario. Let's say you get called up this year, next year, and you're facing Aaron Judge in the ALDS, and bases are loaded. You have a 3-2 count. Which pitch are you the most confident in at this point in your career to try to get him out?
It's a tough question. I mean, kind of depends on what I threw him earlier in the count. I know it's a boring answer, but for me right now, I'd probably throw my best swing and miss pitch because, if you throw it in the zone against that guy, he has potential to do a lot of damage. So probably throw a curveball or a slider to him. But hopefully in the future, I have something else, another pitch, maybe going arm side, and can throw something low and into him, maybe get him to swing over it. But I don't know. That's a difficult question. Hard to think of an answer because I don't think most guys know an answer to that question.
Right. Yeah, Aaron Judge is pretty tough out. So that was kind of leading to a question. What type of pitches overall do you throw? I know you're super confident in your changeup, but outside of your changeup, what else do you like to throw?
Yeah, for sure. 4-seam fastball, and then I throw like a hard cutter slider thing, and then curveball. So those are the three.
Okay. All right. So basically 3 pitches. All right, so it just depends on what Aaron Judge saw, and basically, do you want to give up a grand slam or not? Yeah. So that's a tough situation. But what's the biggest lesson baseball has taught you outside of the game? So I know that things happen outside of the foul lines so far.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's so many, but one that I can think of is there's always somebody better and there's always somebody working harder, pretty much no matter what you're doing. But like you kind of show up to pro ball, you sign in like July, you show up. Like for me at least that summer, I had been kind of dealing with like some arm issues. So I was not throwing, but I was lifting, like I was getting after it. And I showed up and I'm like, yeah, I'm a hard worker. And then I saw guys that were, at the complex from 7:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon, just working the whole time. It's like there's a different standard, which I appreciate, and I've been able to kind of hold myself to. But I think that like no matter how good you think you are, there's always somebody better.
Yeah, and I think everybody's got to think about that in whatever job they have. There's always somebody trying to get your job, and definitely at the big league level. Once you get up there, there's all these 23-year-old Hudson Leaches that are trying to get up there to make their big league dreams come true. So it's a big, humbling experience. Yeah, you reach the big time, but same time, you've got to be like, yeah, I've got to stay on top or else they'll ship me down. So I'm sure that at one point you've been sat down or the coach has talked to you, hey, you need to do better, but that's part of being a professional, or even in college or high school, even in Little League. Everybody's like, hey, you need to improve, or we're going to find somebody else to get that job. But if you, before you, I know as a reliever, you don't have it's not like a routine like a starter does, but is there something that you listen to before you start warming up to kind of get you hyped to go into the game?
Yeah, for me, like as a reliever, like you said, it's, the game starts and then you're sitting there for sometimes 7-8 innings or 4 or 5 innings, and there's no, I don't have my phone out there. I can't listen to the music or anything.
Yeah, that's true.
For me, yeah, like I'll listen to my music probably 30 minutes before the game, kind of get locked in, and then you go sit in the bullpen for a while, you talk with the guys. But for me, kind of when your name gets called on the walkie-talkie or the phone or whatever, I kind of go in like a tunnel vision, and I feel like I don't really hear anything else and all that. So that's definitely helpful. There's no, like, if I could listen to music right before I went in, I think that'd be pretty cool. But I guess that's what walk-up songs are for. But yeah, other than that, just, controlling my breathing, that kind of stuff, depending on how much time I have, there might be a physical routine I go through, and sometimes it's, you're in the game in a batter, so you kind of get on the mound, and you start throwing the ball. So.
Oh, thank you for answering all these questions so far, guys. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. We'll be back. We'll go ahead and talk to Hudson Leach a little bit more about his rise up to Triple-A. Hey guys, let's go and talk a little bit about Monarch Money. Monarch Money is something you need if you want to know where your money is at all times. And we all have these little things that we pay for, but we don't really know where it is, where our money is going at any one time. So whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments, and when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's where there's Monarch Money. It's all in one personal finance tool that brings you your entire financial life together in one clean, easy to use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you're putting off organizing your finance, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get a smart idea of how much you're spending, and finally feel in control of all your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let the financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONMLB. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. We're your team every day. We are here with Hudson Leach, a reliever from the Space Cowboys down in Sugarland. If you want to go down to Space Cowboys, how many games do y'all have left?
You got 6, maybe 7. We might be playing a doubleheader this week, depending on El Paso's playoff chances.
All right, so if y'all want to get down there to watch the Space Cowboys, go and get down there before the season ends. I know the Astros have 6 home games left, and the games are very important against the Mariners and the Rangers. It could depend on if they go to the playoffs. But, Hudson, we are talking about your rise throughout the Astros farm system. I know that it's been probably it's been a weird situation with not knowing where you're going to be from month to month with the living situation. How's that transition been with the going to all the different teams?
Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy year for me travel wise, but really can't complain. Everything's been, besides the injury, all the travel's been for good reasons. So yeah, just try to focus on each day at a time and, not get worried about where my belongings are and what state they might be in and all that. So it's been good though. It's been nice.
So looking ahead towards next season, with only 6 games left, what do you think that you want to improve upon to make yourself more of a target for the Astros who might need some relief help next year?
Yeah, I think the goal remains the same for me, just being in zone as much as possible, throwing as many strikes as possible and getting ahead as much as I can, because typically good things happen when you do that. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. And other than that, like I'd like to always throw harder. I'd always like to have nastier stuff and all that. But I think for me right now, that comes first, throwing strikes, getting ahead, being in the zone as much as possible. And, I think like the big difference between a reliever and Triple-A in the big leagues is probably how consistent they are. And, I aim to be as consistent as I can be next year.
All right, so growing up in enemy territory, Royals territory, we still have not forgiven them for 2015. That one game where it was like single, and yeah. But think back to your days of going to the ballpark. Do you have a favorite food that you like to eat while you're watching the baseball games?
Yeah, thinking of like growing up in Kansas City, going to Royals games, big barbecue city, they had like pulled pork nachos in the baseball helmet that they would do, and I think that'd probably be my favorite. Just nostalgia purposes alone, getting to keep the helmet and all that. So,
are you like Framber Valdez and need your peanuts? Do you eat a lot of peanuts during the game, or you have other little things you snack on during the game?
like during a game I'm in, probably just sunflower seeds for me. That's the biggest thing. As long as there's seeds, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So if you weren't playing baseball, what do you think you would be doing right now?
I know guys always have like a chef or race car driver or whatever, but realistically, I'd probably be doing something like a day-to-day office job, have a dog, live that kind of life. I think I'd enjoy it. But yeah, I think something in maybe sports analytics or something like that would interest me.
Okay. So you're good with numbers and all right, cool. So was that your backup plan in case you didn't get to where you are right now, or what were you going to school for, or was it solely focused on baseball?
Yeah, I went to school for computer science and
Okay.
then computer science, data science, so like that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
obviously with the love of baseball and love of sports, it kind of goes hand in hand. So
Well, there's always with all the sabermetrics and stuff that goes on after your baseball career, there's always a job for you there. So that's a good thing there. So let's see. I know we kind of talked about. Oh, yeah, this is a good question. What's something about pitching development that fans might not realize goes on behind the scenes?
it's a good question. There's a lot. Like we have so much data at this level. It can be extremely helpful. Like there's things that I never thought I would need to know when I was in college that I'm getting at this level, and it's been great. Like the Astros do a really good job of it. But I think pitch development, like a good example would be me going into the offseason last year. Like, okay, I have 4 pitches. I'm going to add a fifth. I show up and we realize like, hey, maybe these don't work that well with my arsenal. So like my 3 main pitches were always the fastball, cutter, curveball, and I added the sweeper and the changeup, something going away. And they were really good pitches on paper, metrically, like all the stuff we like to see. And then sometimes you show up and the hitter is the ultimate decider of what a good pitch is, really. So showed up and like wasn't getting as good of results as I wanted with those 2 pitches, and we kind of just got rid of them, and it made my arsenal better. So sometimes less is more, and sometimes depending on your arm angle and how you pitch, certain pitches just they don't make sense for you.
Okay. So one question I did want to ask while you're talking about analytics and we're talking about all that is you mentioned the challenge system and the what's probably coming is the robot umpires or whatever the system is. How's that? How are you adjusting to that, and what is that like? Go and give us a kind of a sneak peek of what that could look like when it comes to the big leagues.
Yeah, for me, this is only my second week with the ABS system and challenge system and all that. But what I've noticed is the zone it's smaller than the AA and lower levels, like where we don't have the automated strike zone. So it's naturally a little bit smaller. There's some exploits for pitchers, I think. I haven't really seen it yet, but that's what I've heard from guys. It's like certain guys are able to hit a corner really, really well, and they can challenge it every time if they wanted, or if it's fully automated, then they can kind of pick at those corners really well, and hitters might not know. The other thing is like it's made the hitters way more disciplined. They don't chase nearly as much. They kind of know the zone a lot better because like seeing the challenge system during a game, if you challenge a pitch and it's incorrect, you're gonna remember that because guys are gonna give you crap for missing the challenge and losing one for the team. And two, it's like you're kind of training yourself to know the zone better. So I think like players will always adjust no matter what the rule is, I think,
Right.
especially in the big leagues, but it would bring some interesting postseason at bats for sure. Like if somebody could challenge in the 9th in the World Series Game 7 and somebody won on a challenge, it'd be a big deal. So I think it'd be fun to see. I also really enjoy having umpires. Like I think that's something for fans. Like you see a coach get ejected from an umpire, it's a scene, you're in the stands, like that's fun to watch. So I think there needs to be some sort of balance for sure.
That's awesome. And that's a good perspective on that. So my final question, Hudson, is let's forget about baseball for a second. What's 3 things that's interesting about Hudson, the person, outside of baseball?
Oh man.
What do you like to do? That type of stuff.
Yeah. I like to hang out with my friends. Like tonight, we're gonna go watch the football games. Somebody's apartment, hang out. Um, Another interesting piece. I showed this off in Double A little bit. Those guys knows that I can yo-yo. Been yo-yoing for a few years now, quite a few, probably about 10. Just I don't know why, but it's fun for me. It's kind of relaxing. And other than that, like I I just hang out. I watch a lot of baseball, watch a lot of sports, and that's about it.
Okay. Well, Hudson, good luck to you. I hope that you make it up to the Astros next year. Maybe this year, depending on how bad it gets with the Astros bullpen this year. But hopefully you'll get your chance next year. And you're welcome to come on during the off season to talk about what's going on with your off season and look ahead towards 2026. But thanks again for coming on the podcast, and good luck once again. So go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. And social media, Hudson_Leach.
All right, guys. Thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. And hopefully the Astros go and get the series win over the Mariners. We'll go ahead and talk to you next about this on the Locked On Astros podcast.